Are you tired of hearing things like, you've got to follow this strategy if you want to be successful, or you need to sell in this particular way to create success, or you need to set your schedule up like this, or you need to be on social media, or you need to do it like this, or you need to do it like that? Are you tired of being told that all the time in order to create success? I know I was, and I learned something very interesting, and I think you're going to find it freeing when I share it with you. And that's what I'm going to cover in today's video. But first, I'm Jill Hope. I'm a six-figure money coach for mompreneurs, and I want to help you bust through that six-figure barrier in your business, because I learned recently, actually, that approximately 86% of small business owners never get their businesses past the six-figure mark. I couldn't believe it. It's shocking to me. And I want to help change that. So here's the thing about people saying, you have to follow this strategy. You've got to do it like this. You've got to work this many hours. You've got to set up your schedule like this. You've got to have a morning routine that looks like that. Honestly, and I get this all the time from my clients who will say things like, well, yeah, I really want to create this business and I want to have it feel like it's supporting me and nurturing me and that I am fulfilled by it. But I don't want to work every day, and I don't want to have to create a funnel, and I don't want to have to do X, Y, and Z. And the reality is there is work involved. Like, you can't get around that. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and say that you can just sit on the couch and focus and meditate and everything is going to just magically appear for you and you'll have a successful business. No, it doesn't work like that. However, there is no one right way to set up your business in terms of like what strategies to use. There is no right way to sell. There is no right way to price. I mean, for as many different ideas I've heard around how to price your programs, it's no wonder people are so confused, because there's so much advice being given, but it doesn't mean that that advice is correct for you. And in fact, if it doesn't resonate with you, it's probably not right for you. One of the things that I discovered is that I didn't discover this. I am a good student. Like, if I enroll myself in something, I'm going to go to all the trainings. I'm going to follow the coaching. I'm going to do my homework, and I'm going to implement. I'm an action taker. I have a lot of the masculine in me in terms of like getting stuff done. And I would do this to the point of where these coaches whose programs I was in, they would put me on their panels because I was so good about following their process and implementing everything they talked about. And yet I was not creating like this business that was, in the 7 figures range or even in the 6 figures range at that time. And I'm like, what is going on? Why am I doing everything that they say and it's not working? Right. And so after a while, like literally years of feeling like, what's wrong with me? Because then you start thinking that there's something wrong with you. You think, well, the strategy must be right. There's got to be something wrong with me. No, I finally figured out that just because somebody's 7-step strategy worked for them, it does not mean it's going to work for you too. They figured out the system and the strategy and the process that works uniquely for them. It fits into how they want to work. It fits into the type of lifestyle that they want. It fits into the amount of money they want to make. They have made it a part of their life. And if you don't resonate with parts of that strategy and you try to set it up the way they did in their business, you're not going to be successful. I'm sorry. Like, you probably are not. If you are, it might mean that you are very, very similar to that person in terms of your thinking, your desires, your wants for your life and all of that. But most people, we have our own unique perspectives and our own unique views. That's why you can have thousands and thousands of coaches out there and we can all be successful, right? Because not everyone is going to resonate with me or with the next guy down the block. The people that resonate with me, they're meant to work with me and probably only me, or probably me and just a few other people thinking along the same wavelength. So when you hear a strategy out there and it sounds interesting and it kind of lights you up and you're interested in giving it a try, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I do that all the time. If I hear something new, it sounds kind of exciting, it kind of lights me up, I will try it. But here's the key, and here's what I started to do, and it makes all of the difference in terms of my level of success with that strategy. I take the strategy and I look at what are the parts that feel really good to me? What are the parts that maybe don't really feel like how I operate, how I want to operate in my business? And I tweak them and I make them mine. And when I do that, when I actually take someone's process that they have shared and I implement it in my business, but I make it mine before I do that, that is when the success comes. So how do you know if a strategy is right for you or not? Well, first of all, like just hearing about it, does that excite you? Does it sound exciting to be doing that work in your business? Because all these strategies take work. There is, I think we get excited about the results that we hear. It's like, I want those results. And if that strategy got that person those results, I will do whatever they say. That's how I was. I'm like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. But the strategy itself, you gotta kind of love it because you're going to be putting a lot of work into it. And I don't mean like to the point of burnout or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but there is work involved. So you do want to make sure that you're setting up a strategy or using a marketing process or whatever that you actually find interesting and you enjoy, or your energy imprint on that when you put it out there through that process is going to come through. And it's your potential clients, if they're feeling that vibe, which they probably will, they'll be repelled rather than drawn in, and they won't know why. But they just won't buy. So how do you know what's right for you? How do you know which strategy you should try, which one might be like the right strategy for you? Well, first of all, as I said, does it sound interesting to you? Does it light you up? If it does, then ask yourself, like, does this match how I want to work? Is that how I want to engage with potential clients of mine? Do I like this? Do I want to work like this? Like, do I want to work one-to-one with people? Do I want to work in small groups with people? Do I just want to have a virtual program that sits out there and it sells evergreen? How do you want to work and how do you want to engage with your ideal clients? Do you like video? Like, how do you want to show up? Do you want to be on video? Do you like writing? Do you want a podcast? How do you want to get your voice out there, connecting with your ideal clients? Just because someone has great success on YouTube does not mean that you need to do YouTube. Just because someone has built an amazing following on Instagram and that's what they're selling is how to do that, does not mean that that's the only way that you can create success. Even on Instagram, like there are many, many ways to create success. What's your ideal schedule? How many hours do you want to work in a day? I mean, that's just important in general to know. How do I want to work? Do you have to work 5 days a week, 7 days a week? No, absolutely not. For every person that says you have to work a certain amount of hours a week to create success, I can show you a person that has done the exact opposite, worked like 15 hours a week with 2 kids, raising 2 kids, and they created just as much success, if not more. So it's all around what you think and what you buy into. Okay. And so you want to know who you are, how you want to work, how you want to show up for your clients, how you want to get your voice out there. That makes all the difference when you're deciding, what marketing strategy do I want to do? What pricing strategy do I want to use? And speaking of pricing strategy, it's important to know how much do you want to make? That is one of the first things I ask people when I connect with them. And we're talking about me supporting them is how much do you want to make? Because that I have heard everything from like $3,000 a month to $100,000 a month and everything in between. How you want to work is going to determine what strategies you use or the choice of strategies you have, as well as how you need to set up your business to support that. So it's important to consider all these things when you're looking at strategies. So many people, like there's a new strategy that comes out and everybody jumps on that bandwagon. And I think people do it sometimes without really thinking, and they're just kind of throwing money at a program because they think, if I put money into this program, then now I'm doing something. I'm being in action. I'm investing in my business. But I think sometimes people, it's like shiny object here, shiny object there, and it's distraction. And what it's doing is it's taking you away from really knowing who you are, who your ideal client is, and connecting with them in your own unique way. That doesn't mean there's not people out there that can support you, but you've got to know who you are and how you want to work and what kind of a business you want and what you want that to look like and how you want that to feel for your clients before you just buy into any old program. So the key around this whole idea I'm sharing today is knowing who you are, what you like, what are your preferences, who do you want to serve? These are, I've said this like several times already in this video, but it's so important to take a look at that. So many people I connect with, they just have a vague idea on a lot of this stuff. And one of the reasons I believe that that's true is because people have this conception in their minds that things have to be a certain way. So they try to fit their work and their business into this box when really it couldn't be further from the truth. And I actually have some coaches, and I could picture them in my mind right now, that would probably try to argue a little bit with me on a couple of these points here. And what I want to say is that for every strategy that someone said you need to do to create success, I can find probably 5 people that did it a different way and created massive success. It's so clear to me now that we need to follow our internal compass. We need to listen to ourselves. We need to know who we are, what we want, and create from there, create from that place, create from vision. You know, a lot of times we're creating from fear, and that is just not an effective way to run your business. Now, all of this said, there's something very important here I want to leave you with. And that is that while the strategies you use are really contingent upon who you are, how you want to work, who you want to work with, and how you want your business to be, there are actually some key elements that there's no wiggle room in. If you want to create success, you need these key elements. I don't care who you are. And I'm pretty sure most business coaches would agree with me on this point about certain key elements, characteristics that as a business owner, you do need if you want to create a certain level of success. I just wrote an article on this, talking about these 5 things that I have observed that make the difference between people who are successful and people who seem to struggle in their business. So I'm not going to rehash that here, but if you want to see what I'm talking about, the best way to do that is to join my community. I am writing articles and tips all the time to help you create success in your business. That is one of the ways that I love to express my voice and support people. So if you want to see what those 5 things are, the easiest way is to hop into my community. The way that I recommend you do that is grab my free gift that'll automatically put you into my community. My free gift is 8 surprising reasons you haven't hit 6 figures yet. It's an ebook plus a video. I share some pretty eye-opening stuff there about the blocks that get in our way and that keep us from connecting with the success that we want in our business. So go ahead and check that out. The link is down below. That'll also put you into my community. You'll start to see some of the deeper information that I'm sharing there. And I offer opportunities all the time to go deeper with me. So check that out if you want to learn more about how to set your business up for financial success this year. Well, that's what I want to share with you today. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to connecting with you again real soon right here. Bye for now.